Good morning, Kim here. Day 11 for the BBSU42. So today's the high intensity interval training, treadmill, 30 second on, 30 seconds off, times 12 reps. So followed by a 40-minute walk, which this week I'm going to do on the treadmill. I'm going to set up my laptop again and get some work done before I head out to my workplace. So today I'm feeling really good. Yesterday was chest and back, and I know when I did that last week, the following day I really struggled with how sore I was. Although I was feeling great, I was really sore. This week I pushed really hard yesterday. I worked as hard as I could. I did my push-ups, or more of my push-ups from my toes. I managed to do the inchworms much faster than last week, and although I didn't like them, I didn't hate them either, whereas last week I really hated them. And I felt really good after I'd done the workout yesterday in 40 minutes instead of over the hour it took last week. So I'm stoked that my body's responding well. And today I don't even feel much soreness. Bit stiff, bit tight, but no surprise there. But I really expected to be painful today, given I pushed myself quite hard yesterday. So I'm really pleased that my body's coping. And if anything, it's encouraging me to go even harder because I know my body can do it. I'm no longer scared of what might be when it comes to pain. And I think I'm realizing now that maybe that's what was holding me back from pushing hard in the past, was that I was scared it was going to be painful, so therefore I didn't even want to put myself in that position. But based on how I feel now, day 11, I'm not sure it's going to hurt the next day. It may hurt at the time, and that's a good thing because you're gaining strength, but I don't think it's going to be all that painful the next day, at least at this point. Next week might bring new things, new pains, but I'm no longer scared of it. In fact, I think I'm ready to, not even ready to, I think I am embracing it. And that's, for me, a huge win because the fear has gone. And I think when the fear has gone, you can start to achieve anything you want to achieve because you just put yourself out there and go for it rather than second guessing yourself or having doubts or thinking that you can't do it because it might hurt too much. So I feel like I'm in a really good mental space. I'm not quite as tired this morning as I was yesterday, but I think I've caught up on a bit of sleep now that my husband's up and about and able to help out a little bit around the house, and he's able to help with the kids. So life's getting back to normal. So here goes the 12 sets of sprints. I will give you an update once I'm dripping with sweat. See you shortly. Okay, so I've just done the 12 runs. Let me just get walking. So I can ease these legs out. Okay, I've just done the 12 sets, sprints, and I pushed myself harder. I remember to towel this week. Last week I started on 10 kilometres an hour, went to 11, 12 and 13. This time I started on 13 kilometres an hour. I did that for 2 rounds and then said to myself, you got this girl, best version of Kim, which is the mantra I started with last week. So I pushed it to 14 kilometres an hour for the 10 sprint sections to go. And I'll be honest, by about number 8 or 9, I was doubting why I'd chosen that speed until I repeated my mantra, best version of Kim, best version of Kim, best version of Kim. And that gave me the energy to do the next 2. And then come 11 was probably the toughest, because you know in your head there's still another one. So even though you want to give it everything for 11, there's still 12 left. So 11 was a lot of talking. You got this, you got this, you got this. And I did get it. I made it to that 30-second block without giving up. Now I did feel a little bit nauseated, a little bit vomity, but I wasn't sure whether that was my stomach reacting or my mind telling me, nah, too hard, don't bother. Whatever feeling it was, I spoke to myself again, don't let yourself down and don't let others down that you're trying to inspire. And that picked me up. The sick feeling went away and I was back on board. So coming up to number 12, I got it all going in my head. For 15 seconds before I jumped on that sprint, that mantra repeated, you got this, best version of Kim, you got this, best version of Kim. And I kept saying it and saying it and saying it. Even with the first step onto the treadmill for number 12, I kept saying it. And those first 5 or 6 steps of that number 12 were easier than numbers 9 and 10 and 11, because I'd had 15 seconds of telling myself, I got this. I'm sure it also helped that it was number 12, so therefore it was the last one. But either way, I'm super stoked that I didn't give in. I didn't give in to those nasty voices in my head. I let the good voices go louder. I made them go louder. And that's the biggest win ever, because for once, well, for 11 days now, but for once I really made this stick. I fought for it. I'd committed to it, and I wanted to believe, and I did believe. I got to a point, you got this. Don't give up on it now, you got this. And I tell you, when you've set out to achieve something and you tick it off, wow, what a feeling. What a feeling. And I encourage you to set those goals too. They can be small to start and then they get bigger, but the dream needs to be big enough to make all those small increments happen. And boy, does this feel good. It might only have been 12 minutes, but that was a damn good 12 minutes. So I'm going to do my 40 minutes typing while walking. But go set out whatever it is you want to achieve right now. Go do it right now. And I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.